Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a really shiny nose. Oh, hi everybody. Welcome to Service Drive Revolution. We have a Christmas show for you today. We are going to talk about Santa's naughty or nice list in the service drive. I also have something that, the industry is in peril. Let's put it this way. We're all tumbling off of a cliff, and the people that are supposed to be giving us advice and helping us avoid the cliff aren't. We're going to talk about that. We're going to play you some clips. We're also going to answer your questions. And then, if you're wondering why I'm in a Christmas sweater, if you're listening to this, I am in an ugly Christmas sweater. And Christian is in an even uglier Christmas sweater. Everybody please say hello to Christian Lafferty.
Hi, everybody.
Amazing. His sweater, if you're listening to this, I don't know how to describe it, but it also has a hoodie that then has antlers on it.
Yeah, it looks like I'm either really festive or I got kicked out of one of the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. So, well, I know with our coaching clients coming up, we're having some coaching calls, and we're gonna have an ugly sweater contest, and we're gonna be giving away some prizes on there. So if you're in our coaching group, you kind of probably know this already. You're just getting notice to it. I'm just showing you a little bit of what I have. But when you show up to those calls, if you can't beat my ugly sweater, you're not getting a prize. No. I'm keeping the prize for myself.
The bar's high.
Also, Christian's sweater lights up. I don't know if you guys can get that on camera. But yeah, it's lighting up. I don't know that it shows. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So he's got little Christmas bulbs that light up. It's beautiful. It's great. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about, Christian, is our industry is headed off of a cliff. We're going 110 miles an hour off of a cliff. Everything is changing really, really fast. Would you not think that it's the job of consultants, and you know my opinion about consultants, I hate consultants, but would you not think that it's the job of consultants to tell people the truth and to help them avoid peril?
I would very much think that they should be purveyors of foresight.
Now, I don't think the consultants we're talking about here get millions of dollars for their research and advice.
Dozens.
But that being said, if you paid a consultant, would you not be paying the consultant to tell you the truth?
And have a good outside view of exactly what's going on.
Okay, so this is just an example of what's going on. But I believe, just like in politics in our country, not even I believe, it's clear as day. It's not a belief, it's a fact. That just like in politics, people's agendas are so easy to see, and the truth is secondary to whatever their narrative is that they want to accomplish or feat. And so these consultants get paid by Ford and GM and, you know, the big Detroit three. And so they're trying to, you know, placate to them, but they're not telling them the truth. And so let's just play a clip. So this was a little symposium forum of some consultants on Autoline on YouTube talking about the future of electric trucks. One other thing before you play the clip that I'd like to say is I have no dog in this fight. I know you drive an electric car. I'm not in the market for an electric car or truck. I have no dog in the fight. The outcome of the fight that I want is I want our clients to succeed and navigate the next 5 years and gain more market share, be more successful, have more fun, and enjoy the journey. But I don't want anybody to be blind to the fact that there's gonna be some challenges, and the truth is the truth.
Agreed.
But I don't have an opinion about electric versus gas that matters. I mean, I have an opinion, but it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, the industry is.
You love your electric car.
Hands down.
Yeah, I don't own an electric car, and I'm not in the market for one. So this is Autoline. Let's play the clip.
Well, let's talk about the fleet buyer for a moment. fleet buyers aren't going to buy $70,000 pickup trucks. There's no purchasing manager in the world that I'm aware of in the business that I've been in for 40 years that's going to say, well, I know it's $20,000 higher, but let's just go after them and do this. Now, that doesn't mean that they won't get some fleet sales, but I don't see this as a fleet customer product, one, because of the price. But in the long run, the maintenance costs are going to be less. And the operating cost in terms of fuel economy are going to be less, but that's down the road. That's down the road. So I don't see this. And you know what? 100 units, 1,000 units, it's going to break these companies if that's the volume. There's no overriding United States infrastructure in terms of incentives, a national distribution on charging stations that says this is what we're going to do. Now, maybe Biden will do it, maybe he won't. But they're at the moment, they're fighting an uphill battle that is enormous. So they'll be a niche player, and they'll be much more of a niche player in the fleet market.
This drives me crazy. So the context of this is they're talking about electric trucks, and they're saying that by 2024, that electric companies like Tesla and Rivian will only, combined with Ford and GM and all 7 manufacturers of electric trucks by 2024 will only, and Wards, what do they call that? Wards research and whatever?
Oh, it was fancier than that. Intellectual or something.
They're only going to sell 40,000 trucks by 2024, and that fleets aren't going to buy them. And we're still in 2020. And let me tell you guys something. If you just Google this and I'm not even a consultant and I know more about this than you guys. First of all, Amazon has already ordered 10,000 that will be delivered in 2022. No fleets want electric trucks. Yeah, because they don't want customizable, low maintenance costs, low cost to operate. No fleet's gonna pay $20,000 more. What is he talking about?
I don't know.
They already are. The electric companies are more flexible, they're lower cost to operate, and you're telling people out there, I mean, I don't understand how you can get away with lying about stuff like this. I don't understand how Fox News does it. I don't understand how CNN does it. And I certainly didn't think in the car business we would be lying to people to this degree.
It's the same thing.
It lacks complete common sense and facts. The facts are that Tesla has 1.2 million pre-orders of their pickup truck. Let's just say 80% of those fall through. You still sold more than 40,000 trucks.
300,000, if my math is right, somewhere around there. Yeah, that's a lot of trucks.
Okay, I'm not a conspiracy guy, but what is the conspiracy here? Why? If you watch this whole interview, it's nuts. It almost seems like I don't understand who the target audience is, and I don't understand what the motivation is to be so dishonest about the landscape of the marketplace.
Yeah. I guess I just think back in history. A couple of different things come to mind. One is like this is
Hitler and Germany.
For sure. And then also all the people that were trying to convince the world that it was flat also. And then I think about, you remember the story of Pompeii? It was like this old city back in ancient times, and it was a beautiful city parked right next to a volcano, Mount Vesuvius. Well, after a while, what do you think happened to old Mount Vesuvius?
It erupted?
Weird. Completely buried Pompeii.
Yeah.
And the thing is that like they were definitely, and there's no historical basis for my belief of this is how it happened, but I'm going to guess that before Vesuvius erupted, there was probably some sort of a sign, right? Because usually you start to get a little bit of an indication of these types of things, and there was probably somebody that lived in Pompeii at the time that said, you know what, that big hill that sits right outside of Pompeii, it's smoking, and I feel like something bad's going to happen. I'm going to move. And everybody else just said, you know what, I'm glad it's warming up the city, and then eventually it blows up. It covers the city in minutes, and everybody dies. That's what it reminds me of. That like there's people out there saying it's okay, but behind the scenes the world's changing, right? And you've got to prepare for it because otherwise it happens to you and you get buried in soot.
You know what it reminds me of is it reminds me of NADA, the National Auto Dealers Association, years ago when I used to try to speak at their events. I won't speak at their events. I won't have a booth. I could care less. Never brought me any business anyways. It's the biggest waste of $100,000 you could ever spend going and doing that event, honestly, in my opinion. But they make you present your keynote or your workshop to them and all their panel of whoever. Some of them are from the NADA Academy, and so I present it, and they said two things. They go, you got to take out two things, and I'm what's that? And they go, you can't say Satan in your pet the dog story, so you can't refer to your ex-wife as Satan. And I was like, I'm not taking it out, but I'll pretend like I am. But I didn't take it out. And then the second one is you can't talk about Tesla because I had a story about my doctor and his Tesla. And this is, I don't know, how many years ago? 8 years ago or something? And I'm like, well, why can't I talk about Tesla? And they go, well, it's not popular with the dealers. And I go, yeah, but it's the elephant in the room. Yeah, but it's just not a popular subject with the dealers. And I'm like, are you guys here to help dealers navigate the future? Are you here to be popular you're the worst parents ever. Like, eat all the candy you want, come and go as you please, get pregnant when you're 13. There is no fundamental truth. It's just like, oh, well, it's not a popular subject. It's the world today. It's what's going on. It drives me, I don't know if you can tell, but I should check my blood pressure on my Apple Watch, because how do these guys get away with this? It's straight up lying. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of expect it from Fox News and that sort of thing, but I, for the life of me, don't understand how these half-rate consultants can go around saying this stuff. And these aren't the big consulting companies. This isn't McKinsey. They would never say that. I guarantee you McKinsey, I've seen some of the McKinsey research about what's going to happen in automotive. And let me tell you a couple things. You know what you need to get really good at?
Tires and alignments.
Tires and alignments, because the electric cars will break and they'll have problems, but they don't have as much maintenance. And the maintenance they do have, they need to think of us for tires and alignments, because that's how we're going to retain them. That's what we should be telling people. We should be telling people how to honestly navigate the future, not that, oh no, that's a boogeyman that doesn't exist. No, electric cars and trucks are coming. And they're going to come, and people are going to buy them. And the other thing, too, that drives me crazy that everybody leaves out of this equation, and I've said it on the show before, is China is full electric by 2026. They sell twice as many new cars a year as we do. They are the driver of why Volkswagen and all of these manufacturers are going to half of their lineup being electric. It has nothing to do with us. We're going to get it because that's what they're making. They're going to make it popular because that's what's coming off the line. Because when a country is as dominant as China is in new car sales, like literally twice as much, if not more than us, a year in new car sales, that's what they're building the factories to make. And they're full electric by 2026. And so you got to look at the whole landscape, but I don't know. I don't even know if this is of any interest to our listeners and
well, I
viewers,
think it needs to be, whether or not it is an interest. It's got to at least be something we start to educate ourselves. I hate consultants.
You don't have any theory to the conspiracy of this? Should we just move on?
We can. I agree with you, though. I think it's a complete, we're just trying to tell people what they want to hear and not really looking at facts.
Really, are the CEOs of the manufacturers out there really that naive that they need these consultants telling them this? They know the truth. They're looking at real numbers.
Yeah, but they sleep better at night knowing that they're going to be fine.
Is it the dealers that they're trying to brainwash?
That's what I think. I could be wrong.
It's crazy to me.
It's a good time to get strategic, though.
What do you mean by strategic?
I just think that we should be aware of the landscape of the industry and that it's changing, and then we actually figure out how to thrive in it as opposed to just trying to catch up once it happens.
Okay, this was your idea to talk about Actually, your original idea, I think, was to come up with a Christmas naughty list, and then we decided, well, we should have a nice list
Yeah.
with the naughty list.
You got to have the good and the bad. I'm always thinking about naughty.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go through our naughty list for 2020.
Okay.
What did service managers, advisors, techs, what were the naughty things that happened? And a lot of these on the list aren't exclusive to 2020. They just happen.
They may have been around for a little while.
Okay, the first one that we have on the naughty list is managers wearing their seatbelt.
That's right. No shortage of seatbelt inventory in manager offices.
Now, is this you picking on parts managers again?
No, I think that it can be either a parts or service manager.
You guys got to know something that's really great. We just did some training on the truck side, and guess who plays a parts manager in the training? They can't hear you raise your hand on iTunes.
Dang it.
Christian! He's playing a parts manager.
I ran some awesome reports.
Did you put anybody on hold?
Twice.
Have you seen some of the comments where people are asking for more parts content?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. It's coming.
How's it coming?
I think it's on its way.
We're going to start doing parts training?
I think we should.
Really?
I like parts. It's growing on me.
You're just saying that.
You play a parts manager in one video, and all of a sudden you're
All of a
stuck
sudden
on
you're a
it.
parts manager. You're like, I'm not a parts manager, but I slept in a Holiday Inn.
Right, that's exactly right. Phil Reid.
Okay, next naughty thing is, and this came from our team here. Well, Kosh got really passionate when we were making this list,
Yeah.
and he didn't know the term for it, so he said it a different way. But I said, you know what that is? That's C&D, could not duplicate. Because he keeps taking his Toyota in and he can't get it fixed.
Right.
And they keep blowing him off, and so he's really frustrated. But could not duplicate. Not taking the time to quality control, go for a ride with the customer, get the foreman or a tech out to go for a ride with the customer. Just not really caring and just kind of, it'll go away.
Yeah, I always think that like could not duplicate is basically us saying to a customer is you've got nothing better to do than bring your car into me and tell me you have an obscure problem. Like that, we got to be better than that in general. And that's not just about text, that's everybody. It's the information we collect, it's how we communicate with the client, and then really committing to figuring out what's wrong with the vehicles.
And then this one goes two ways, is customers not being updated, and then customers not being in safe and dependable vehicles. So one thing that I like to do when I go into a service department is I'll go pull their declines, and I'll just call customers and ask them, hey, why did you decline the brakes or whatever was recommended? And most of the time, what the customer says is, they didn't tell me about it until I came to pick up the car. And so they were never told. And so we can't keep customers in safe and dependable vehicles if we're not communicating with them instantly while the car is there, while the tech still has it on his rack, and give them the chance to do the maintenance or do the repair or whatever it is. But it's more efficient for the tech, it's better for the customer, and at the end of the day, it's better for the business overall.
Yeah, I have to believe that the customer would prefer to do more stuff in one trip. Their time is invaluable to them. So coming back multiple
Has a
times.
consultant told you that is true, or is that just your feeling that customers want to save time?
It's my feeling, but I could.
Is
ask a
that based
consultant.
on your feelings as a consumer or just your generalization of the humankind?
A little bit of both. I think personally, my time is really valuable to me.
I
and
love for people to waste my time when I'm a customer. It's maybe my favorite thing.
Yeah, you can't think of anything you'd rather do than have your time wasted.
Oh, super entertaining. Like,
And just
especially when
watch what's going
businesses are disorganized and they can't get it together.
on. I bet you love that a lot.
You know what it tells me?
What?
We'll always be in business.
It's job security somehow. Like it all comes back to you,
Yeah. We will always be in business. That's what it tells me.
right? Yes.
Oh. Okay, here's another one. What about victims? We were talking about this earlier on another show, but it is interesting that with all the things that happened this year, with COVID and politics, the economy. I mean, in some cities just completely being shut down. And the difference between the departments that set records and had their best year ever and did more than they did pre-COVID and the ones that didn't was just their mindset of being a victim or not.
Yep.
That's
And they
it.
might have been 20 miles away from each other. That
Yeah.
was the craziest thing to me. And the thing that was really encouraging, at least with what we got to see, there were almost as many heroes as victims, right? Where I think there are typically a lot more people play the victim card, but there was something about this last year that we got to see a little bit more people put on their capes and be heroes.
Oh yeah, some really stepped up.
Yeah, so I'm super proud of a lot of people. I think that they definitely just didn't, no matter what was happening, they persevered, and that was really a lot of fun to watch.
I wonder if anybody will really step up on the ugly sweater contest. I think that's going to be a mixed bag.
Yeah, we may have intimidated everyone just by having the.
See, this isn't even my ugly sweater. I got ugly like this. This actually, looks okay.
Yeah, see, to me, like
This is European. It came from Europe. It's about coffee. So it's this guy I follow. He made it. It's the coffee guy. I forget his name.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but you didn't know that was pour over coffee going into a cup?
No, but it makes sense now that I
Yeah,
see
it's
it.
coffee in the Christmas spirit. You put a little tequila in your coffee. It makes it more Christmassy.
I like
guess.
it. Forget the fancy eggnog. Let's just
No,
go
so
with
this
coffee.
isn't the ugly. My ugly sweaters are more kind of like what you're rocking.
Yeah, see, in this one, this is, I don't know if it was European or not, but it definitely came off of a French site called Amazon.
What's that mean?
Amazon.
Amazon. Amazon. That's funny. So then that was the last one, being a victim.
Nice.
What do you think about that?
I think it's a pretty healthy list of naughtiness.
And so you can do your own nice list because you can just do the opposite of that, right?
Yeah, I think that it's important to talk about that for every seatbelted manager that we saw, we also are really, really seeing a lot of people getting on the nice list by being actively engaged with their team and really being leaders in their department and in their stores, in their shops. For every person that can't duplicate a concern, we've got technicians going above and beyond and interacting with customers and really, really making the customer feel like they're important and their time is valuable. Not updating or communicating with the customers. We've got people that are going the exact opposite of it and using all forms of media to communicate with customers. So, yeah, you're right. For everything on the naughty list, there's equally as many people on the nice list.
I'm excited too because we have an episode that we're going to do for you coming up that is why technician or can technicians become service managers.
Yeah, it's a great topic.
Kind of fun. Okay, let's go to your questions. Remember to if we play your question on the show, we will send you some Service Drive Revolution swag, which means coffee mug, t-shirt, hat.
People are getting really good at these call-in questions too. They're rehearsing.
A lot of people wanted your parts hold shirt, but we got squashed on that. So let's go to the first question.
Hey guys, question for you. I recently became a service manager of a small operation, so I'm kind of still a service advisor, especially if the other advisor is not there. I want to be in more of a traditional manager role in an office with, 2 or 3 advisors, so I'm not actually writing up the customers every day. What is your advice, sticking with the same company and waiting for opportunity, or would it be just keeping an eye on the area for another opportunity and, kind of working your way up, maybe by hopping to a different company if they have an opening for, the higher, we'll call it the higher up position, or something involves probably more money as well as more of a traditional manager role. What is your opinion? Stay with the company and ride the wave, and hopefully everything works out and an opportunity opens up within the company, or do I keep searching for outside opportunities and then interview for that outside opportunity if it sounds more like the role I'm looking for? just looking for advice. I know you always say with advisors you'd recommend sticking with the same company, obviously because of the customer base, but where a manager is more, it's not necessarily, you're not directly dealing with customers every day, so that's not, I don't think it's as important. So just looking for your opinion. It's Bob from Cuba. Thanks.
I've been anxiously awaiting a response for this.
Oh, do you have an answer?
I have an opinion for sure.
Okay,
I don't know.
What's your opinion?
All right. First off, thank you so much for the call. The thing that I got out of listening to that is not I want to be a manager. It was that I don't want to talk to customers every day anymore, and that's the way I see out of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a insightful thing. You're reading between the lines.
And I think as a manager, you have to love the customers even more and just be I don't know. At least when I think about back to going from advisor to manager, I loved and relished every opportunity I got to talk to the customer because I got to learn a ton about what was going on. And it wasn't that I wanted to be a manager because I didn't want to write customers anymore. It was just because I wanted to make the department better as a whole. So I don't know if I'd love to hear a little bit more about what his motives are, but that's what I kind of thought.
Yeah, a little more information it'd be helpful. But so the thing that I would say is I would go about this two ways, but let's aim this at a different target. So let's say you want to be a general manager someday, because that's how I would think. So let's not say you want to be a service. Your end goal is to be a service manager with 2 or 3 advisors. What is that? I mean, I don't know that that's an end goal. It's not a real accomplishment.
Yeah.
And so let's say that you want to get better, build your toolbox, have some real tangible results that you can, one, be proud of, but that show that you are a leader and you can take a challenge and use that challenge to your advantage and turn it into a positive outcome. You can put that orange in the juicer and out comes, juice, right?
Right.
So the first thing I would do is go sit down with your dealer, your general manager, and I would tell them, hey, my goal is someday I want to be a general manager just like you, and I want you to mentor me. I want you to show me how to read the financial statement. I want to learn. I want to be really good. Meanwhile, I'm going to grow your service department. So my goal is to double this thing. And so then if you want to double that thing, you need to get good at marketing and driving traffic. And you need to, it doesn't matter if you do it there, you do it at the next place. You need to add some things to your toolbox that allow you to hit the sales button. So two things that are really important for a service manager. One is that if 10 cars come in, or 10 cars and trucks come in, or if 100 cars or trucks come in, that the outcome of that is customers love us, they had a great experience, and we have a very high dollars per RO. So our hours per hour are high, our dollars are high. The outcome of the process and the system we have in place is happy customers that are maintaining their vehicles and fixing whatever there is. And that's not easy to do. We got to inspect every car. We got to check history. We got to make the customers feel at home and trust us, and we got to offer it. And then we got to be able to do the work and do it right and not have comebacks, and all that stuff doesn't just happen overnight. So you're better practicing with one advisor at that system, because how we do anything is how we do everything. If you can do it with 3 or 4 techs and 1 advisor, you're going to be able to do it with 12 advisors and 40 techs. I mean, there's the thing that we've learned over the years in our industry is there's no shortcuts. You're not going to go to tablets and magically there's a shortcut, because if you can't do it paper, you can't do it tablets. And you're not a good service manager if you can't get 1 advisor to work, let alone 12. It's the same thing. It's just a bigger problem. So I would focus on hitting the leather off the ball, like getting really, really good where you are and expressing your need and want for advancement, learning, and opportunity. Now, if the dealership you're in doesn't want to offer that, then after I hit the leather off the ball, I would go find somebody who did. That's my answer to that. But I've rarely seen anybody be successful long term by jumping for the opportunity instead of learning how to fix things, adding to your toolbox, getting really good at driving traffic and maximizing the traffic that you have. And maximizing the traffic that you have comes before getting good at marketing and driving traffic, believe it or not. Because you just got to think, like, getting a new customer that's never heard of you, never been into your service drive can cost you, $50 plus to get them in. It's expensive to get customers. So that would be my answer. But I didn't read through the lines like you did, but I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, and I'm totally happy to be wrong, but the thing I really like about what you're saying is, given that that's a small service department, he could grow as a manager in addition to, like, they would grow together, which I feel like would be huge lessons.
Oh, and I'm guessing, like, you're in a smaller market, right? Because usually if you have one advisor, you're in a smaller market. So you could start doing any makes. There's tons of stuff you could do. And also think about, I think a lot of times service managers miss the point that your role in the dealership is to sell more cars. Like, this whole thing in a dealership is a circle of life. Sales sells a car, hands it to us. We're supposed to take care of that customer and hand them back. But if you start doing other makes and other models, you can hand those customers to sales too when their trade cycle is up. And so you need to think of yourself on a bigger scale and understand that it's not really about one advisor and 3 techs or whatever. It's about, what do you do with the opportunity that's in front of you? Many times I've had opportunity in front of me that some people would think isn't a big deal. But if you just focus on giving everything you have and being the best at the opportunity that's in front of you, people will find you. They won't be able to keep it a secret.
Yeah, I love it.
Good one. What's the next question?
Hey, Chris and Christian. What's going on? Huge fan. Just wanted to ask a question about how to gamify a body shop. Just wondering if that's something you can help me with. I'm just wondering what happened to Jeremy. Where'd he go? He's hiding after the election?
Is that a Trump joke?
I think so.
Jeremy is just busy. He just doesn't have time.
Yeah.
It's a big commitment to drive a couple hours in here and do this show in LA with COVID and all that. So, but we love Jeremy. Body shop. Man, I'm trying to think what I would do in a body shop. So I guess there's 2 things I would do. Is I would probably gamify how many work plans, which you might call an estimate, but how many work plans they wrote. Maybe within the first couple hours. Like, the whole key is, how soon can we get the car in, get it broken down, and write a work plan, not just an estimate. So I would probably gamify that, and then I would probably gamify the turn, how quick they come in and out. Because the biggest thing that I find with body shops is that they're just dust, The good body shop operators that I know go out and grease pencil every day, like they do a lot walk, and they're talking about who's the advisor, why is this still here, like they're hammering that. And so doing a lot walk, and whoever, whichever advisors and techs have the quickest turn, and drive that. That's what I would do. In fact, I'd probably make it all about turn, because that's what the insurance companies care about. That's what keeps their rental car expense low. So I'd probably do it on turn, and I would involve the techs too, and maybe split the advisors and techs in half and do like a competition or something if you can. 2 teams against each other. Let them pick names for the other team.
Yeah. I'd probably gamify additional reconditioning opportunities too. At least consider that. I think that sometimes when a vehicle goes into a body shop, if we're fixing the right side of the car, we're not looking at the left side of the car and seeing opportunities.
So, upsells?
Yeah.
It's a good one. Yeah, so there's a couple good ideas for you. Thanks for that question. Those questions were both really good. I like this new format where people are calling in because you can hear their voice and kind of get a feel for it. It's good. Well,
Hold on before you do that.
before I do what?
I don't know what you're about to do.
I was going to rant about consultants for 30 minutes.
Weird. I feel like we just did that. Have you noticed that I haven't really told a joke?
No.
I've been saving them for what I'd like to call our Christmas edition snowman joke speed round.
How's this work?
You just sit there and try and answer all the questions that I'm about to ask
For
you.
how long?
I'm going to say, Michael, put 30 seconds on the clock. I think we'll finish before that because we're pretty good at this. But you're just going to sit there.
So you're going to set up a joke. I got to guess the punchline?
That's right. And I think
Oh, man,
even
I'm
with
never
you,
good at this.
you know what, today is the day. You're going to get at least one of these right.
What was the one earlier? Cold pack? Okay.
All right. Are
Do
you
we
ready?
need to start a timer?
We do.
You want me to do it on my fancy calculator?
Yeah, I think that we're going to, on the video, I think we're going to get an actual timer on the screen, which is going to be wonderful.
Okay. You ready? Can you see this?
Yeah, I've been preparing for this my whole life.
Really? But this is contingent on me knowing the punchline.
Even if you don't, I still think we're going to be able to go quickly. It's going to be a
Okay,
nice
here
cadence
we
to
go.
it.
Ready, set, go.
What did one snowman say to the other?
What?
Do you smell carrots? What do you call a snowman that plays piano?
What?
Melton John. This is the one I feel like you have a good chance of getting. Why did the snowman turn yellow?
Because somebody peed on it.
The dog. Ask the dog.
Ask the dog.
Where does the snowman keep his money?
Where?
In the snowbank. Last but not least, what do you call an old snowman?
What?
Water. Was it 42 seconds?
I don't understand why we timed that. You could have just. That's the ticking clock doesn't make sense. You know what was that movie? That was it Sandra Bullock where they're driving around in a
Speed.
Speed with
Yep.
there's a ticking clock.
Yeah, with Keanu
This
Reeves.
ticking clock doesn't make sense. It made sense there. It doesn't make sense here.
And that's okay.
The jokes are funny though. And that's funny because you didn't even use some of the ones you were telling us at lunch.
No, I came up with
Boy,
some
you're
more.
just a plethora of comedy. That's fun. So we do from our family to yours wish everybody a happy holiday. And I just want to mention we're going to take a little bit of a hiatus here with the show, but we're going to be back on January 11th. So we look forward to seeing you then. We hope that you have some time to enjoy the loved ones around you and, reflect on this year and think about next year and, what you can do, and don't be a victim. Like the commonality between the winners and the losers this year were who owned the outcome, who stepped up and took the challenges and made the best of them. It's very naive of us to think that things are going to be easy and everything's going to be handed to us. So I would just expect that the beginning of next year is going to be a challenge, but we can make it fun. We can have a good time. So thank you and Merry Christmas. We'll see you next time on Service Drive Revolution. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Service Drive Revolution. We're uploading new stuff every day, so make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss out. If you have a question you'd like us to answer on the show, call 8333-ASK-SDR and we'll answer your question on the show. That's 8333-ASK-SDR. For special deals on our books and training, head over to offers.chriscollinsinc.com. Now that's offers.chriscollinsinc.com. I'm Chris Collins, and I'll see you in the next video.